What up, peeps? Welcome to the Kisscapades podcast. I'm your host, John Telewa, aka the Kissbandit. And in this show, we explore the key elements that shape our fulfilling existence, from health and well-being to financial success, meaningful relationships, and the pursuit of happiness. We cover it all. Our guests include experts, professionals, and everyday individuals who have remarkable stories to tell. Tune in to learn practical tips, gain valuable insights, and discover strategies for personal growth and transformation. Whether you're seeking to improve your health, build your wealth, enhance relationships, or find lasting happiness, we got you covered. Welcome to today's episode. You had that part about finding eternal love and happiness.
I know. That's amazing. We all want that.
We all do. Unfortunately, for some of us, looks far-fetched, but we'll get there.
Don't rule it out.
We'll get there. Baby steps. But anyway, welcome to the episode. And today we have a very special guest. Before we start off the episode, I just want her to introduce herself and what she does, and then I'll take it from there with the usual, hot seat questions.
Yes.
Not hot seat questions, sorry. I'll just take it off from there. We'll just have a chat because, it's been a while since we
last saw each other.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me, by the way. I really appreciate it. My name is Michelle Nduta Njoroge. My Instagram name is Miss/Makeup. Makeup is my first love.
Yeah.
But I'm also an esthetician because without good skin, you can't have good makeup. So that's why
true.
I opted to go to America and study skincare because I feel like it elevates your makeup to the next level.
We actually have classes where you study about skincare routines.
Yes.
As we get it from YouTubers.
Yeah. Well, I had to go to school for it and get licensed.
No, but that's, thanks for just pulling up. I know I called you randomly, but anyone from the diaspora, if you don't catch them that last week before Christmas,
Yep.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, because there's always so much going on.
Catching up with family, dad's birthday.
And just like adjusting back to being back home and everything.
Yeah.
It's always such a vibe. So many things happening. So you caught me at the right time.
Wait, how long have you been away?
I've been away for a year, but before that 7 years, because I was here last year.
Before that 7 years. When you moved to just take like that career path, or in fact, is that the career path that you had like when you're growing up? Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes, I was doing makeup from when I was in high school. I was doing makeup in the bathroom stalls, charging 20 shillings for eyebrows, lip
You were
gloss.
doing that?
Yes, it was very illegal, but I did it. My teachers will probably watch this and be like, wow, that's what you were doing? Yeah.
And your mom and dad, is that also, because, I think as parents, especially if you have like old school parents, most of them, at the time, maybe you were trying to pursue that. Maybe they didn't understand if this is actually a career that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever bug heads at any point before you convinced them to actually? Really?
I was very lucky. My parents are super supportive.
Yeah.
The only thing that they wanted me to do is get my degree, which I did not. And that's where there was like butting of heads. Because they're like, you can do makeup all you want, but just give us the degree.
Which
was
degree?
the compromise. I went to USIU doing international business, but then I kept getting all these gigs to do makeup for Safaricom Live. And so I was like, Safaricom Live is giving me money and school is teaching me how to make money. I'm going to go where the money is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just left.
I just quit.
You just quit your degree midway. And that's where I'm asking, like, so what's their reaction when you're telling them, like, you know what, I'm not pursuing this anymore, and this is what I want to do? Before now they jump on the wagon to support you.
I think for them, they just saw my work ethic because they know I'm a sleepyhead. Like, I love to sleep.
Yeah.
So when they would see me waking up for gigs at like 4 a.m.,
Excited.
they're like, wait, is that our daughter waking up at that time?
Yeah.
She's going somewhere at 5 a.m. to do makeup. This is something she definitely likes. So with them seeing me go out and just make money and interact with all these people that they would see on TV, that gave them the confidence to be like, you know what, do your thing. We're not happy that you didn't finish your degree, but we're going to support it because we see the vision. And it's really hard to convince African parents in general. let alone Kenyan parents.
Anything to do with arts, it's kind of tricky.
I had to prove myself for sure.
And then also, like even with that, like, but where did this come from? Because I'm guessing if you're coming from such a household, everybody else is doing like jobs probably that maybe conventional, or maybe like you have aunties who are doing like, regular office jobs and everything. But where do you get this inspiration to pursue something that's completely
out of the box?
Yeah, that's not formal work.
I think for me, it was just always the passion. From when I was a kid, I loved makeup. I loved lipstick. I was the only kid in church with bright red lipstick in Sunday school. Like, my mom would look at me and be like, when did you even get that? So I would steal her makeup, and she didn't even have the power to or the energy to fight me at that point.
Yeah.
So I think the passion is what fueled me.
What's going on with this? What's going on? I know we're in Africa, but geez, on my podcast.
So the passion really fueled me. And when I was in high school...
So it came from your mom though, right?
It definitely
If that's
did.
why you're picking up makeup and playing with them and everything.
Yeah, my mom was a banker. She worked for Barclays, which is now ABSA.
Yeah.
But she also had like her side businesses. So my mom has always been like an entrepreneur. And she had Mary Kay. And when she had Mary Kay classes, she would always have the makeup available. And that was my opportunity to just...
What's Mary Kay?
Mary Kay is it's more of a makeup brand that a lot of moms used to...
Oh, really?
Yes, like a lot of suburban moms used to like meet up and do the Mary Kay forums.
See, I can't just be nodding my head here when you're saying Mary Kay, and then I ask myself, like, wait, what's Mary Kay?
There's a lot of girls who know about Mary Kay.
Oh, that's like, let's say, like an old school thing that parents used to...
suburban mom kind of like thing that people used to do on the side to just like elevate their looks.
That's nice. I mean, I didn't even know about that. So now here, fast forward a couple of years later, and then you want to pursue this whole like just career path in the States.
Yes.
And then you just pack your bags from Kenya. You're born and bred in Kenya, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Kenya.
That's why I was even like shocked. First of all, because you know what? Let me just show you guys something. Let me show you something.
Sure. So this is a surprise. We didn't talk about this.
No. Because when you're talking about like why I'm asking if she's Kenyan, because even before she comes to the podcast, she asked me, "Oh, you thought I was about to surprise you? I'll still surprise you, but hey, let's talk about my surprise first. Come on."
Okay.
So before she shows up to the podcast, and this is not pressure on other guests, she asks me like, "Yo, what's your shoe size?" And look at this, man. Brand new shoes.
You invited me over. The least I can do is bring a little gift.
What?
A little gifty gift.
Yeah, shoes.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also like, like, I don't know how you knew it, but like I really love shoes.
And also with your line of work, I figure this is super thoughtful. You're always on your feet. You're working.
Yeah.
You're doing all these gigs. You need some good comfort on your feet. I got you.
Born and bred in Kenya,
Yeah.
but not like all the other people. Those who just... Okay, not my guests, by other my friends. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you pull up, come up with some gifts as well. But anyway,
I've set the standard, guys.
It's way over the top. So now you move to the States, right? And you decide to just chase this career path and everything.
I was very sure what I wanted to do when I went to the States. I knew I was going to go to beauty school.
Yeah.
But what I wasn't sure of is how challenging that journey was going to be.
Yeah.
Because you go there thinking, I'm going to go to beauty school, then Hollywood is going to call me and I'll be
working
doing
with
makeup.
Beyonce
I'll
by
be
next
doing
week.
Beyonce's makeup by next week. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly how it goes. There's a lot of challenges, and that's something that's very dear in my heart to share with people, is that when you're taking
we have time. We have time.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
When you choose to go and chase your dreams, please just stick to it, because it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worthwhile. And a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, this is what you should do. There's going to be so many opinions, but just listen to the fact that, to your heart, the fact that you came here for a reason with one vision, so you want to follow that.
Because even when you're pursuing this, are you pursuing it alone? Are there relatives that are on the same path? Like when you're in the States, it's just you alone going to beauty school and,
There's always relatives, but when you go abroad, just know
you're kind of alone. You're kind of alone. Yeah.
It's you against the world, because it's not like here where when your relatives are in your corner, they're in your corner. When you're sick, they're bringing you dawa, they're bringing you fruits. When you're sick there, you have to figure it out because you're wondering, am I going to go in for my shift?
Yeah.
Or am I going to be sick? Or am I going to eat lunch? There's no in between. Like you have to figure out because every paycheck counts. So when you
per
see
hour.
when you see
Per hour.
Americans
It's not like
living
Kenya, right?
Paycheck to paycheck is real. So if you miss one day, you have to figure out how you're gonna make up
Oh
for
wait,
it.
that's not like okay. Because the previous guest is actually a budgeting coach, and we were talking about like how, and I don't know if this is correct. Of course, you can. Nduta.
Nduta, what's up?
What's up? What's up? So, and this is something that we also always see like on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
But the whole paycheck to paycheck thing, we're
It's
told
real.
in the States, it's real. But we're also told that a big percentage, more than 50% of Americans do not have $1,000 in their account for
You
an
don't.
emergency.
You don't.
It's true.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
I mean, if for me personally, I'll say
Yeah.
this: when I was doing before I started,
Before, of course, now.
after beauty school,
Yeah.
I had to get a job that was helping me to pay my rent. So I went into finance. How they even hired me, I don't know.
You do
'Cause
finance as well?
I didn't have any qualifications, and they hired me, and I was like, you know what? I'm here. The money is great.
Yeah.
So I stuck to it for 4 years, but I was so unhappy.
Oh.
But guess what? I did have savings. I had over $1,000 in my bank
Yeah,
account, but I
yeah.
was miserable. I was actually depressed, if I'm being honest. But the money was good. So when you choose your passion, sometimes you have to say, listen, the money might not come immediately,
Yeah.
but you just have to stick to it.
If you're getting depressed, at least get compensated.
I know. The compensation was there.
Yeah.
But then the switch up of moving from like having such a good job in finance to moving into doing what my passion
Yeah,
is.
okay. Now,
That
how's
was
that?
crazy because I was
How's that
taking
now?
4-hour bus rides
To location now where?
to my job
Yeah.
just to make minimum wage and choose between having lunch or paying for my bus.
What?
It was
But-
very humbling.
but-
And here you're like, you're a big deal because, your parents have taken care of you. You've
Yeah.
been shielded. But when you're there and you've made that decision, you can't start going backpedaling and telling your parents, oh, send me money. You chose to come here.
Yeah.
So you have to really go on that journey by yourself. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready for that?
And I think even at times people like probably in Kenya, that's what I was saying. Like you see, if you pick like let's say a 20-year-old in Kenya and you pick a 20-year-old in the States,
Yeah.
those are two different brains on how people are functioning.
Completely.
Because in the States, people probably start working when they're
16,
16. Yeah. In Kenya, probably 24, 25.
24, 25.
That's when you're getting your first
And
paycheck.
even then, your parents are still giving you
Yeah,
pocket
I still-
money.
yeah, so-
They're saying, uko sawa?
Yep.
Nataka money ya pesa ya
Yeah,
nini? Ya
yeah.
transport. Ndio hiyo.
And I think even as much as parents would, that's playing a big role, but it's kind of like, what's the correct word to use it? Not enabling, but you're not really teaching you.
It's too shielded. It's
Yeah,
too
you're shielding your kids
because
too much
now when
to-
you go into a space where you have to fend for yourself, everything is just so crazy. It's
And everyone
overwhelming.
else is like hustling.
Everyone else is
18-year-old,
hustling.
20-year-old, they're on the same pace
Yeah.
as you.
And I mean, I don't agree fully with how the Americans do it.
Yeah.
But at 18, they're asking you either pay a water bill, pay something so you can understand. Because I had never understood the concept of paying for anything. So I thought everything was just like easy peasy.
Yep.
And I realized, whoa, toothpaste and tissue is ridiculous. You
costs
can't just
money.
be using it
Yeah.
the way you feel like.
Yeah. True.
That was a shocker for sure.
But how do you even adjust to that, especially now being like also like a foreigner? This is somebody who's coming from Kenya, you're not.
Yeah.
Maybe your accent is a little bit different, and maybe even the state where you settled,
Yeah.
it's a bit different. You
It
stand
is.
out,
You
like
stand
maybe
out.
more white
Your
people.
accent is different.
Accent is different.
How you look is different.
Different, of course.
The way you do things is different. So
Yeah.
I think
So how do you adjust with that though? Is it easy? Is it hard? People looking at you weird,
you know,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to the hot
yes,
takes.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah,
Are
no,
you
but we'll get there.
ready?
No, but just how is it like just adjusting to that? Forget about like just the bills, because even the culture, talking about people who are doing things differently and they
Yeah.
look completely different. Because when we're saying it and just in theory or when you're watching it maybe in movies and stuff, that's completely different. Because even like for me, when I got to Europe, I was like, I think when we were in there's a certain section of Germany where we went. It's like there are shags and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't want to say it's weird, but to me it was just like, yo,
Yeah.
even if you paid me to stay here,
Yeah.
I can't stay here.
Some places are not what it's cracked up to
Yeah.
be.
So how do you adjust though to that? Mentally,
My answer
culture.
is not gonna make you guys happy. You don't. You never adjust. But you know what you do? You pretend. You just pretend, and you're like, you know what? I'm here. I'm going to do. It never feels like home. That's number one. But with time, it gets easier, and you have to, like I said, you just have to stay focused because you'll have so many challenges along the way that'll just make you want to give up and come back home. But when you remember why you came here and the reason that brought you to that place, it'll keep you going. And then you'll also notice that our work ethic and how all the values that we have from here, especially when you're born and raised in Kenya, you'll notice how that'll work in your favor.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
at work, in the workplace, people, the things you'll be doing will be above average.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they'll be like, wow, Michelle does this. She goes out of her way to do this. And I'm like, that's how we were raised. That's how we were taught.
True.
In primary school, in high school, you were taught to always do everything to the finish.
Make sure you finish.
You finish and you do it to perfection.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I feel like Americans are lacking. They don't see the privilege that they have. We do. So that's what works in our favor.
And I think especially if you're coming from a background that's Kenyan and you're going there, you understand like maybe the potential opportunities that can come your way by you just being good at what you're doing. By you just being good,
because you'll see all the praises. Like, for example, for me, when I was a makeup artist in different places, Sephora, NYX Cosmetics, I would get so many reviews from different clients randomly. So they have surveys where you talk about your experience, and almost all of them, I have evidence. You've seen it on my Instagram.
Yeah, she always posts,
People would always be coming back because of Michelle and the service I gave them, because I always understood that there's so much value in customizing your service and not just being a robot. So if I'm handling you, John Telewa, and I'm talking to you, I'm going to treat you differently than I will Miss Nduta over here, because I know what your needs are and they're different from hers. And that's what is going to keep you coming back.
True. But even just with that now, are there experiences that you've gotten probably from clients who are like a bit like, I'm not used to being served by someone who looks like you, of course.
Yes.
Have you gotten those as well?
Yes, I've gotten people telling me that they'd rather have someone who's speaking English. You can hear.
Because that's what I'm talking about when the accent, because I was being told there are places that they actually, when I'm talking like this, that they can't hear what I'm saying.
All of a sudden it's so really? Foreign for them, but they'll say...
You can understand me, right? You can just say no, it's okay.
She can understand you. Yeah.
Nobody's going to cancel your visa here. I mean, it's like visa on arrival.
No, but what's so funny to me is that they'll know all the breeds of the animals. They'll say all these complicated Russian names. But
that makes no sense.
Understanding my accent and me saying water is where you draw the line. Guys, we have to do better.
That makes no sense. Though.
It doesn't
Never
make
understood
sense.
that.
Yeah.
So if somebody's coming and saying something like that, like, is there the correct way of going with it where you don't hurt your career? Because you can't lash out on a person's ignorance. You can't lash out
on your client, but what you can do is just be confident, because confidence takes you a long way. So when someone told me, they'd rather have someone who speaks English, I told them, sir, I'm speaking English.
Yeah.
And if I bring my manager on the phone, he will tell you the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So would you like me to bring him to repeat exactly what I've just told you?
Yeah.
And when you stand on what you've said, people will also back up.
Yeah.
So don't be a coward. Don't allow people to intimidate you. Just stand on your word and stick to it.
Well, I think the weirdest thing is always like when people are saying such things about like a Kenyan accent.
Yeah.
I'm like, when...
It's so clear.
When...
there's nothing...
I think for us, especially like being close to like British system, our pronunciation is probably like one of the best.
Exactly.
Nigerians speak and people still understand them. And literally, Nigerians make up their own words.
Yeah.
Even in their music, they make up their own words. But, think about it. People always sing back on their songs. They do not even, those words do not exist. Just to make it clear, they do not exist. When a Japanese person is speaking, they kind of still understand it.
Yes.
When when the French are speaking, apparently it's romantic because of their pronunciation.
But you can barely hear them.
They're mumbling and mixing up all the different kind of words that you can even... Germans, let's not even go there. So we can't say like Kenya has a bad accent. You can clearly hear what someone is saying.
I don't even think there's any bad accent. I just think it's the concept of seeing something different.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to
even understand. There's some accents that can be,
Yeah, but I feel like
we
some
heard
Americans...
like NTV News Uganda?
I have.
Okay, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Okay, I guess that answers...
That's very popular Ugandan clip. Everyone is always talking about. Even my friends are like, why are you gay?
Why are you gay? Well, you see, but I'm just saying it's funny, but you still understand them.
You can understand.
You can understand them.
But another tactic that also helped me was whenever someone says anything ridiculous to you, just ask them to repeat it. Because now when they hear the stupidity that's coming out of them, they're like, oh yeah, maybe I'm a little bit ridiculous.
True.
So that one has really worked in my favor. To ask people to be like, oh, do you mind repeating that?
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, now that you've heard yourself.
Now they have the answer.
And also like just what kind of, like being makeup, like let's say professional, like what kind of gigs though do you do when you're there?
Oh, well...
Yeah, so that people can have a rough idea. Because like in Kenya, I think people just, not to, just end up downplay anyone, but like a lot of people like can wake up, watch YouTube tutorials and kind of like certify themselves to be like professional makeup artists. But there's so much more that goes on into...
There's so much more. There's the licensing. There's the networking. So for me, I think for me, the biggest gig I ever did was for ESPN.
Ooh.
Yes, and that was really, really dope. I did it for Shelly-Ann, the runner, the Jamaican runner.
Yes.
And meeting her was so surreal because I was like, first of all, she DM'd me.
She DM'd you?
Yes. Okay, it was probably her assistant.
No, but still, it's from her account. Come on.
Yes.
It still counts,
And I did her makeup in LA for ESPN, and that was one of the biggest gigs I've done.
Yeah.
And it was so rewarding because through that, I got a lot of contacts. And even just her co-signing it and reposting me. So just being in the right place at the right time, I'd say.
Yeah, but now how does that feel though? Like just being in a place where, because I think everyone's, even in the States, everyone's dream is always like going to Cali and just doing a lot of mainstream things. Yeah. So even like just a makeup artist being in like that position, is it pressure for you now to just be even successful? Because you're already there.
Yeah.
Now you can't just leave, without... People are expecting results now. It's
more.
like, okay, we've seen ESPN, so what's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of pressure, I won't lie. But you also have to remember you're going at your own pace and you're judging yourself on your own race. So you're not looking at other makeup artists. Because where I'm from, it's very saturated. It's not just like a very unique thing to be a makeup artist. There's so many of us. So many of us doing big things, amazing
Actually,
things.
That's true.
So you have to find a way to stand out. So like when I moved to Arizona, I had to stand out by specializing in women who look like me or who are brown skin because I knew that that's what would propel me into having my own niche. Specializing in people who have deeper skin tones and knowing what to do when they have certain issues, because most places are not going to cater to our skin tones.
That's true.
They will just look so intimidated. Like if you walk into a salon or you walk into a spa, they're already like wanting to know who they should pass you on to.
Because who's going to handle her
Who's
now?
going to handle her?
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like these spaces need more people who look like us. And that's why it hurts me when I see that I'm the only black person in Sephora, or I'm the only black person in Macy's, or I'm the only black person working at Cartier currently. So
hey, that's where you work.
Yeah. So I pivoted.
Wait, what?
We'll get there, but I pivoted from makeup and skincare into luxury
Maybe
jewelry.
I should update my wish list then.
Talk to me.
No, but that's good. That's what I'm saying. Like even when you mention such brands, these are brands like maybe like even let's say a lot of young girls like just look up to, or even if they have a franchise like in Kenya, it's not the same as working in like the main branches that are out there.
Yeah.
So like just a little bit more on, work experience.
Yes.
And like say Sephora, or how do you pronounce it?
Sephora.
Yeah. Macy's. And of course like now Cartier.
Yeah.
what's your work experience like in just the different... Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling
Why are you
because
smiling?
when I think about it, it's just going for it.
Yeah.
There's no thinking, oh, no, I'm not. You have to know that you deserve to be there.
Yeah.
In all these spaces, people are going to look at you because you're different and because they see you as an underdog and they're underestimating you. So you have to use that in your power and just be like, yeah, when you walk into work, act like you belong there.
Do you think when you're... Sorry to cut you off. Do you want to finish?
No.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
So I'm just saying, like, now, being in such a space, especially like now, the way in the States, they have this whole thing. Do you think there's some places where they would pick you for the sake of just like inclusivity?
Of course. Of course they will, and I'll eat it up each time. Because now who else is going to do it?
True.
Yes.
But I think...
even with the inclusivity and diversity that they are trying to promote, I know I still deserve to be there and I know I have something to offer because when I'm in those spaces, there'll still be feedback. There'll still be clients wanting to know who is that person who helped me last time.
Yeah.
Or like in Cartier recently, we have a bracelet that's called the thread bracelet. And someone came in and said, oh, I want you to do it like you did last time. And they told someone else that I did it really well. So they wanted them to do it like me.
Yeah.
And this person happened to be a new person, so she needed the practice.
Yeah.
So I told her, do you want to give it a shot? And she was like, oh my God, I'm scared. They want it exactly like yours. I said, you got it. I'll help you.
Yeah.
So things like those just really make you know that you deserve to be in those spaces and that whatever work ethic you have and the value you give is valid.
But even when you say something like that, is there that same attitude like in the States where somebody would like see you trying to figure out something like in the work space and actually like, yo, don't worry, I got you? Or it's everyone for themselves, like, yo, me, I'm clocking in at this hour.
Yeah.
Once my gig is up, me, I'm bouncing. But did you find like the same attitude where people were ready to just help you to take it to the next level?
Yeah. There's a lot of that, especially, it depends on the company you're with and the team that you have, but I've been really fortunate enough to have great teams that I've worked with, especially right now with Cartier. I have an amazing team. They're super supportive. They want you to grow, but they also have really high standards. So they expect you to catch on to things really fast.
Chap.
So even the first week, they were like, oh, Michelle, we realize you've only been here 1 week, but we need you to do this and this and that. Yeah. And they're like, forgive us, where I know we have high standards, but remind us also if you have any questions. But for the most part, I've gotten a lot of help.
Okay, that's good to also like just to know as well, because for anybody who's new, just to know what they can expect.
Yeah, but also be quick to ask questions. There's no question that is dumb,
silly,
or silly. Just be quick to ask. And most people, especially people in the higher ups, they enjoy when you're someone who's into the details and you want to ask questions. Of course, you don't want to be that guy who's always being helped.
Yeah, but...
you also want to take initiative.
Yeah.
But when you ask questions and you bring things out of the box and create solutions, you're going to be the best person.
Okay, now, like, let's say from... You're already doing, like, your gigs, like, in Kenya and stuff, through passion and everything. And then you go in the States, now you start studying, like, you know... now, is it... What's the... term used?
Esthetician.
No, but what's aesthetic? You can't say you're studying aesthetics. What is it called?
So I went to cosmetology school in aesthetics.
In aesthetics?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
In aesthetics. So when you blend these two and you're in a different country, and now I'm guessing like now you're upgrading like a lot of different techniques and everything. Are there some things that you're doing in Kenya, and then now when you're doing them after learning, you're like, hey, as I was just doing these things like so roughly, I was like just amateur hour when I was doing this, and you've changed everything like completely.
When it came to things like hygiene, which is what beauty school really teaches you, you understand how pivotal it is to make sure you're cleaning every product that you're using, because there'll be diseases that will be transferring from brush to brush or from product to product that can even cause you to die.
So the same way I see some of this, let me just say some of my girls, I see them like just throwing powders at each other and like, hey, let me just do your...
Being sanitary is very important. And that's, I think, what I got out of beauty school. Is everything needs to be cleaned to perfection. Because just one mistake can lead someone to the ER, and now you've killed someone through your makeup. Is it worth it?
No,
No.
not really.
Yeah.
And also things like just skincare routine. That's something that's even like big by there. Like,
Yes.
a lot of people are now paying more attention to it. Like,
And even men, there's a big demographic of men who are now trying to elevate their skincare.
I mean-
and I actually do 30-minute calls for $50 where I
Really?
give people their skincare.
What do you think
breakdown.
of my skin in general? I've done a bit of CeraVe. It was ridiculous by the way before
Yeah.
I started. Like,
I think your skin is great. You just need to exfoliate,
what the hell is that now?
cleaning out the dead skin.
Oh, like just doing the
Yeah.
facial scrubs or something. That
You can
will
do
help.
a facial scrub, or you can do something that's like more of a. You don't have to necessarily do a scrub because scrubs can be a little more abrasive.
Yeah.
You can do. They have products these days that you don't really have to scrub that hard. Yeah. So they have like a toner that has exfoliating in it.
And when you say something like that for men, doesn't that make like a guy look a little bit too soft? Because at the end of the day, men are supposed to be men.
Yeah.
So now if your face looks a bit too smooth, because can you imagine if you walked in and also like my face is probably like as smooth as yours and
Yeah.
well put together.
That would be a good thing. You'll be
Hell
showered
no.
with compliments.
Really?
Yeah. And you
Nduta, is that something that you agree on?
I do agree.
Even men should have
Girl-
like just the same smooth and
Yeah.
everything.
It's attention to detail.
Why would I want a dirty man?
Oh,
No, okay.
not the dirty one.
Okay. Okay.
It's just like dust,
No.
Yeah.
You have to dust the dust out. So.
But
It's
I'm-
a good impression. You
Yeah.
don't have
Okay.
to go there and wear eyeliner,
Yeah,
do all those things.
just a few
But
basics,
nice-
like-
a few basics. You can have like a three-step routine. You're cleansing, exfoliating, and sunscreen daily.
Is this every day
Every day,
for men?
at least once a day. Come on, guys.
Okay, like let's say before you leave the house. Because I think
Yeah.
you've told me like in the morning and in the evening, that's just too much.
But now, when you come back in the evening, all that dust you've collected, so you need to.
I shower. I mean, I
But now
shower and
you
I'll
just
wash my
shower.
face.
You have to shower.
I
and
mean,
wash
that's
your-
what most guys do, right? Am
Yeah.
I wrong?
And that's why you all are ashy.
No. But I'm just saying in general, like what men normally do. I think for like, I know women do a skincare routine in the morning and in the evening.
Yes, we do.
That's too much pressure.
But you know what I'll say?
Yeah. And you have to use
You don't
like the
even think-
products
Yeah.
every day.
Every day. But don't even look at it as being soft. Look at it as your self-care. Those few minutes
Okay.
you have in the morning to yourself and in the evening, no one can take that away
One
from
of
you.
my friends, he was told online because he does like the skincare routine, and I was watching him on a podcast. Was saying like guys in the comments were telling him akona umama. So,
Of course.
Because-
Even in the States, they have that. They're like, why are you gay?
yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, but I think like also it makes sense. Like if just personal care, I think for me I would definitely do it once a day. I think
Yeah.
that would be like twice. Now that's crossing the line. It's too much.
Then do it in
I'd
the
rather
evening
be
then,
I'd
'cause
rather
now
be
you-
ashy and dusty, but I still at the end of the day at least kind of think I'm
But
maintaining my
Just do it once or twice. Even you, the feeling you'll get,
Yeah.
you'll be coming back for more. Now,
Okay.
next we'll be seeing you doing your little eye cream.
Okay.
Also.
Oh,
When
no,
you start
no.
to see, because the consistency.
I can't do that.
The
And
thing
hold,
with skincare, though,
Yeah.
is that the consistency will pay off. Now you'll start being addicted to the compliments you're getting. Someone will be like, wow, look at you. Look at that skin. Then you're like, wow, the girls are really on my neck right now. I want more. Next, you're buying an eye cream, you're buying a lip moisturizer, a lip scrub, you're good. The ladies love it. I'm telling
Okay.
you, it's a hack. You're welcome,
okay,
guys.
okay. We'll
You're welcome.
We'll just go. That's up for debate, but we'll go with it. And then now, even if you're just giving people like just simple basic tips, because I'm sure like from an expert and somebody who's like just novice who hasn't gone to like beauty school and stuff, like
Yeah.
what are just some of the quick tips you can then give them like just to take care of their skin?
Oh, wow. Of course, a lot of it is internal. So if you're not eating right or drinking water,
Yeah.
your skincare is not going to do all that work for you.
Explain.
So make sure,
Please explain.
Make sure you're eating healthy, you're hydrating a lot.
What's healthy though?
Healthy, you're eating your greens, you're getting your base, all the things you need, like a nice balanced diet, at least. No, I'm not saying you do it
It's
like
strict, but
obsessive,
yeah.
but at least have throw in a little green in there, a little broccoli, a little skuma
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
and some water. And then now you can focus on your skincare. So when it comes to skincare, as long as you're cleansing your skin and moisturizing, that's all I'm asking for you.
Because now, even for me, I tell you, like, I remember, like, when were we having this debate? I was having this debate with, like, 3 girls who were saying, like, drinking is not their thing. Like, they're not a fan. One said, like, I'm not a fan of water.
Oh,
And I was just like, there's so many imbalances in your body right now when you say something like that, because maybe you don't even know, but you cannot say that you just don't like drinking water.
There's so many creative ways you can go about drinking water these days. You don't have to necessarily drink water.
They say they drink soda.
Oh, we have to talk.
Look at you like, oh.
We have to talk.
Oh.
Soda is not going to cut it. But other than that, like I said, cleansing and moisturizing is very key.
Yeah.
And number 1 is sunscreen. And I know we're Black, we're African,
Yeah.
but I cannot emphasize how much sunscreen is important. Skin cancer is a thing. And just because you don't want to be utaki kuwa na umama or anything, you also don't want to have skin cancer.
No, true.
You know?
True.
So sunscreen and moisturizer is the bare minimum.
Okay,
Sunscreen and cleanser is your bare minimum.
Sunscreen, moisturizer. Are there any other?
And cleanser, sorry.
So
Because you have to clean your
those
skin.
are the. Wait, cleanser, it's for cleaning up, and then moisturize to just keep it moist.
Yeah. But you see, these days, a lot of moisturizers double up as sunscreen. So as long as you're having sunscreen with a good SPF, you're set.
I know you're starting to confuse me.
Why?
When you start saying SPF and all these other words.
So you see how you'll have a moisturizer that has SPF 50, SPF 45.
I have the tiny one. What is it called? The one that comes in a white bottle and...
Oh, that's so vague. Do you know how
No,
many
no,
of
hold
those
on,
are
hold
there?
on, hold on, hold on. La Roche.
La Roche. Oh, you're
Yeah.
bougie.
Am I?
Hey.
I don't know. That's
look at
what
this
was
face.
recommended to me. And then I was like, you know what? Let me get this.
Let me
And-
tell you, you don't even have to break the bank. You can even look online and get a nice Korean sunscreen for $10. What's that, like 900 shillings? And you'll be good to go.
But does that work the same way it would work? Like, because now when you say like it's Korean, and I'm guessing they have a different skin texture, does it still work for us?
It
like
still
properly?
works for us.
Really?
Yes, because Koreans really, and I'm not trying to promote Koreans because I'm on a Kenyan podcast. I'm just giving a little.
It's okay. I have Korean friends.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm in
Look at
Kenya
you, like,
right
I
now.
know.
I want to promote my country.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying they really go out of their way to find products that work in general for skin.
Yeah.
They use very like traditional methods and nice plants in their products that are good for all skincare. I mean, all skin tones.
Okay, now another thing that, because I had like some questions that I also didn't, as much as we're talking about a lot of things in general, there's some things that I also didn't want to just skip.
Yeah.
Because a lot of girls or women in general say when they're doing something like makeup, it also improves their self-esteem.
It does.
It's better with mental health, all such things. It gets to a complex way that I don't know how I can explain it.
Yeah.
But I hear women say that. But is it something that also you can give an input on if you've
Absolutely.
studied or what you've seen like from your clients and
Yeah.
stuff?
And it all starts with the self-care aspect, like I was saying, and it goes across the board for both men and women. So you'll notice when you're spending those, even though you have to wake up 10, 15 minutes early, when you're spending those few minutes with yourself doing your skincare or putting yourself together, when you look good, you feel good, right?
True.
So even the way you're presenting yourself out there, people are going to address you a different way when you've showered versus when you've not showered. That's
True.
the basic, the bare minimum.
True.
So imagine when you take the time to dress up or put on makeup or just a little bit of lip gloss or your moisturizer, you'll notice how you feel.
Yeah.
The way you feel is not something you can explain, but you'll know you're having a better day than you would have if you just rolled out of bed and walked out. Yeah.
And then when I'll just ask from women's side, because for men, I care, but I don't care that much because, like, yes, I do my little routine. And even for guys, they can do it, but they won't do it like to the extreme levels that women in general would. So if
That's debatable. I've seen guys these days.
who can do like...
They're taking it to the next level, yeah.
Are these guys that women ideally would?
Have you heard of metrosexual men?
That's gay guys, right?
They're not gay. And that's a misconception.
Hey, what are they?
Metrosexual are
They're not-
men who go out of their way
She even say like, I don't even know what. They
just
go out of their way
to really
be-
take care of their appearance. Like maybe once in a while you'll get your nails done and your toes. That's
So they're-
self-care.
so
That's a
they're-
form of self-care.
So they're bisexual, right?
They're not bisexual. Metrosexual is just you care about your appearance. Why are we like this? We
No,
need
no,
to
hold on.
Someone's getting nails done bisexual.
How did you move from
Okay,
getting your nails
hold on,
done
hold
to
on.
being
Okay.
bisexual?
Okay. I get like, a
Yeah.
rough idea of what you're saying. And
Yeah.
they take extra
Precaution.
precaution and because like for me, I definitely would. I go for when you do like your feet, it's called when they scrub.
Pedicure.
Yeah, I get,
Yeah.
but I don't put any like,
You don't have to do any of that extra stuff.
Yeah.
But how does that make you feel though?
no, it's because I run every day. So if I don't like go get my
But
feet
how
scrubbed,
does it make
I'll
you
just have
feel?
scales like on my feet.
Yeah. So, but how does it make you feel?
I can run better the next day.
But you feel good about
No, but I
yourself.
do. But
It's
I
a
know
good
what.
feeling,
Yeah,
right?
actually, even when you're putting on sandals, it feels kind of
Even
different.
by the time your feet are being submerged in that nice hot
Yeah.
water, you just
Yeah.
feel like, wow.
Have you ever had someone come and just cross their legs on your couch like this, and then you look at their feet, you're like,
And you're like, why?
I
What's
hope
going on?
I hope you can read like what my eyes are saying, because if you don't remove those feet
just
in
thinking
the
how-
next 1 minute, you have to leave
thinking
this
how
house.
you're going to vacuum right
Yo,
after.
exactly. But I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Like even just, and it comes even down to put like when you put on like your socks, your feet feel different
Yeah.
and stuff. But I think for hands, I wouldn't go to that extent personally.
Yeah. And
I'd feel
everyone,
too soft.
you see, you don't have to feel pressure to do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
But like you said, mental health wise, you don't realize how good it feels when you take care of yourself and you, like I said, simply,
Yeah.
when you look good, you feel good. Like sometimes you'll be down in the dumps having a bad day, but then you're like, you know what, let me put on this dress. Let me put on a little bit of makeup, and you go outside and you're like, wow, I'm cured.
But
I'm cured
but
of
even
my
that,
whatever I was feeling.
my question would be like, when in general, when women put makeup, is it for other women to get compliments from other women,
Yeah.
for themselves, or to look pretty for men?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, but most of the time we do it for each other as women. What do you think, Nduta? Because when you go out,
Yeah.
a man is not going to notice that I have chrome green eyeshadow.
I
he's
won't.
Just he's just going to know that, wow, she looks good.
She looks.
But the
yeah.
girl's going to tell you, come on, girl, with your chrome
Yeah.
green eyeshadow and them lashes, you know. So we do it.
But what
also
if I, as a guy, I come and told you like, wow, those eyelashes and the chrome green shadow that you put on.
I'll be
That's
like,
the first
you
thing.
must have a girlfriend who knows.
Where
Oh,
did you learn this from?
You'll be like,
Yeah, where did
what?
you learn
You'll be
this
like,
from?
what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just asking, like in general, like, so you think women put it for other women? I think.
And also men,
And
of
also-
course. We do it for the men, for ourselves. I mean, we do it for other women, for our... Number one, we do it for ourselves. We do it for other women because we know we're going to bond over
Yeah.
the green eyeshadow. Where did you get it? And then also the guys, obviously, because when you see a girl who's well put together, guys are visual.
Yeah.
They want to come and say,
There's
what's
some
up?
makeup that can look crazy though out
Yeah.
there. So you know,
And you
when you
know
see
when-
someone has put, sorry, just say what you wanted to say.
It's funny because another guy walked up to me. He's like, I don't even know makeup, but I know this is
Yeah,
good makeup.
because like just like yours, somebody sees it and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is
And
somebody
it
who
all
actually,
boils down to the skincare. Because I said earlier in the podcast,
yeah,
when you have good skin, your makeup is going to be flawless.
Yeah.
So you're even applying less because you're covering up less because you're taking care of your skin in the first place.
Yeah.
So whatever you're putting is just an enhancement.
Enhancement, yeah.
It's not to cover up. So that's why I'm very intent on people taking care of their skin. Like if someone comes up to me and tells me, do my makeup, I'm breaking out so bad, I'm like, what is your skincare routine, first of all? Because that's what's going to solve half your problems. Then the makeup is just going to be there as an enhancer. Yeah.
because I was just about to ask that as well, because there are people who like use makeup. I don't know if it's makeup that does that to them, to a point where like it affects their skin in a way that now even looking, just like if they wash their face, it's just not the same person.
Yeah.
Because like if here, like maybe somebody's like, yo, me, I was catfished by there. Because yesterday, how she looked by there, and now it's
Two
a whole,
different-
these
Yeah.
are two different people. But why do you think like other people, where do they go wrong exactly, apart from maybe like skincare routine, that it gets to affect their skin? Like even in long term, there are people now who can't even leave the house
without the
without makeup because
Yeah.
they know it's kind of like damaged their skin a bit. Because which is also very common. Because you know, like in Kenya, people buy like skin lightening products. You can just buy it in River Road and stuff. No instructions. They're not certified, and just apply.
Yeah. The self-esteem thing is very personal to each person, but I think for me, when I'm talking to my clients, I really want to understand their needs. Why are you wearing this makeup?
Yeah.
What are your day-to-day needs? Are you wearing it for work? Are you wearing it because are you going on a lot of dates? Is it something that makes you feel good that you can go without every day? So when you understand why the reasoning behind why you're doing your makeup, then you'll be able to understand why you feel a certain way without it and with it on. So whenever I'm dealing with my clients, I can only speak for the people I deal
that
with.
you've dealt with, yeah.
I encourage them to look at themselves in the mirror and see, if I was to walk out with just my moisturizer,
Yeah.
how would you feel? How would I feel? So I ask them that so that they can just look in the mirror and just have that deep understanding with themselves
Yeah.
to understand that your confidence is not going to come from that makeup only. It also has to come from within. So like I said, it's a very personal thing, but I always try to encourage people to see their beauty from within without just the physical things. Because we can have all these clothes, we can have all these makeup, we can have all the things that you think define your beauty.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel it, it's nothing.
And I also think like it's kind of like at times, if you think about like even when people are in relationships and you have somebody who's like an extremist, let's say, put it that way.
Yeah.
I think at times it would kind of be like you'll feel kind of ripped off because let's say if somebody is already used to being like with crazy makeup, not
Yeah.
crazy, but like
A full face. Yeah.
all the time. This is something that they put on when they're leaving the house.
Yeah.
So it's like the rest of the world gets the best version. And then once she steps in the house, she washes her face and
Yeah.
then she just chills on the couch. And I'm like, no, I just feel like I'm being ripped off. I need a refund.
No, but I honestly think that the confidence just should come from within.
From the person.
Because even though you're not that person with a full face, as long as you feel it, no one can tell you anything. And no one can come and tell you, oh, wow, you're not anything without your makeup. If you feel it, other people will catch on.
They'll kind of
And
see
they'll
like...
catch on and they'll be like, wow, I love her confidence. She is beautiful. It's resonating from inside.
Okay, and then another thing that I also would want to like just ask and not forget, like when someone is in, like let's say, investing or just buying like beauty products in general,
Yeah.
would you, because I know you've also mentioned it, like should somebody necessarily just go for like high-end expensive products?
No.
Or I haven't said the second option.
Or
Just walk to River Road and collect a bunch of products from, like, you know, those girls who are always like outside their shops and nini. What's the easiest way to go about that budget-wise? Because if you're investing on something that you're going to put on your face, and like you said, it might affect you.
Yeah.
And some you've said even you can end up in an ER because of just using bad makeup.
Yes.
Which we've seen in the news and blogs and all that.
I mean, the skin diseases like MRSA that can come up that are literally flesh-eating diseases just from the contact
I think
of
those
the
are
skin.
the ones that you see people with a bit of chipped.
Yes, and it's really bad. So what I would say is do your research and let's understand that even things from River Road or let's say drugstore items are not bad. You just have to go according to your budget and doing your research. And one thing that has really helped me is understanding the ingredients in products. So when you're doing your research, see what's in this. So even this something is like, let's say 1,700.
Yeah.
And you're saying, oh no, I'd rather buy the other one for 5K. Sometimes the one for 5K will have ingredients that are really not good for you versus the one for 1,700 that has ingredients that are actually going to help in the in propelling your skin to a better outcome.
And then now, even with that being said, do people have to, should you go to like a dermatologist to assess like the products that you should use on your...
I mean, not everyone is going to have access to a dermatologist. Let's be real.
That's true.
But everyone is going to have access to Wi-Fi.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty
Okay.
sure. So
Okay.
that's where the research comes in. Yes.
Personal research.
Your personal research and understanding the ingredients. These days, everything is on the internet. Everything is on YouTube. So I'm not saying believe everything you see, but also use your best judgment by understanding the products and the ingredients.
Other people's reviews, ingredients, especially even if it's people who look like you, so
People
that
who
you can
look
know
like you.
this works well with you. The same way you've said, like maybe for her, she'd need to use different certain, you know how at times you've
'cause
seen
there's different
people
skin types.
who have like different color in their face and their hands have a different color.
That one that's a whole different topic. But yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
those are some of the things. But how do you also like stay updated with like just if this is something that happens in a lot of cultural things, mainstream, there are always trends.
Yeah.
So even with makeup and stuff, how do you stay updated with like different trends and styles that people are using? And do you stick to what you're used to, or you're open to like just even like learning new trends and introducing them to your clients?
I think sticking to what I know is always a good thing because it has never steered me wrong. But I'm always open to adding on what I feel like is going to be of value to me and my clients. So I learn how to filter it out and see maybe the newest foundation out there might not be for me, but the one I've been using for the past 2 years is working out. So I'm just going to maybe add a new primer or a new moisturizer, but I'm going to keep the same foundation.
Which makeup trend to use a no? Because you've spoke about a
Oh
lot of very
my gosh,
different
there's
things.
so many. Are you
different
ready?
things. Paka, I'm just like, okay, sir, now we have to get like, okay, which makeup trends do you like? You're like, this
For
one.
me, the one I've noticed, especially in Nairobi, is the eyebrows. We have to stop.
What about the
We
eyebrows?
have to stop. Not everyone has the same shape of eyebrows. Like
I've seen them like
they'll copy paste eyebrows that are on my face to Nduta's face.
Yeah.
Like we all have different shapes.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to have that
Actually, yours look
Nike-
really good.
Yeah, the Nike overly
Yeah,
defined.
yeah.
We have to stop that. And I've seen so many of those same eyebrows on different girls, and I'm like, yep, that's the same eyebrow. We're just copy pasting on everyone. So, because the eyebrow really is just shape. It shapes your face.
Actually,
So
true.
when someone looks at you, the
Ah,
first
yeah,
thing they're
think
noticing
about is like,
your eyebrows.
Do my eyebrows look crazy?
No, I mean you're a guy, so you just need to like groom them.
You see, that's what I was saying now. You see, Paka, you're like, you're a guy. That's
You
what I was
don't-
saying. We don't need to do much.
You just need to like do a little grooming, like a little brushing. Yeah.
Just brush them like in the mornings. Like,
But when it comes to
that's too
girls,
much work. But
when it comes to
to
girls, it's the shape that they keep doing the same shape on everyone, and also learning how to match your skin tone. So like I've noticed in our Kenyan community and in the African community in general, you always want to appear lighter than you are. So
Yeah.
when I'm doing face matches or anything, they're like, no, that's too dark. They'll be literally fighting me on the
Oh,
chair. and telling me,
really?
That's too
They'd
dark.
say like, no,
And I'm
no,
telling them we have to blend
put it like, make
we have
it lighter.
to just blend it and just
Yeah.
have it seep into your skin because you're literally not Duta's color. If I'm putting on Duta's color, there's a problem because it's not going to match my neck.
Yeah, which is a lot of people would do that, and
Yeah.
I think also like that's also like another thing that I mentioned. Also, like I don't know if you know, like, but also like that's common in South Africa.
Yes.
Bleaching is a
It's a
huge trend
thing, yeah.
because like you'll notice like all South African girls are just light skin.
Yeah.
A lot that you'd see like maybe on mainstream social media and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you see like their brothers and
It's very confusing.
yeah, it's so confusing.
And
I'm
I
like,
don't
wait,
know
what's
who
going
lied
on
to
here?
us.
What's going on here? But what's your thoughts like even on just that portion? Because it's not just South Africa, like also it's common in Nigeria as well.
Yeah.
And also common
Even
in
Asian communities, that's common.
actually even in Korea, like
Yeah.
people, the whiter you
Which
are.
is so funny because in Asian communities, they really want to be light, like
White,
fairer
white,
skin.
yeah.
And then the white people, they're trying to go under the
I'm confused.
what do they call the
Tanning
booths?
Tanning, yeah.
So that they're even doing the extra spray paint just to look like they're our color.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guys, there's something.
It's confusing.
It's very confusing.
Yeah,
Just
but-
love yourself for who you are.
But even with just that trend, what do you think is, where do people go wrong where they find themselves like just, is that something that you've ever has it ever crossed your mind? Because now, like even like the 7 years you've said,
Yeah.
you hang around a lot of white people.
Yes.
Until even at some point you're like, maybe, just maybe if I was a bit lighter,
You know what's
they
so
would love
funny?
me better, right?
You know what's so funny? White people don't even notice that. Because all black
Really?
people, like me and Cosette or Nduta,
Yeah.
will probably look the same to a white person.
Like
But
they still,
it's the internal hate from your own community.
Yeah.
So like some people will even tell you, oh, you're so pretty for a dark-skinned girl.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what? Can I just be pretty?
But has that ever gotten to you at any point? Maybe even it crossed your mind like once, because because the reason why a lot of girls would be doing it, it's because it's like it's just I can't understand it as a guy, but
think for me-
Congolese guys
Yeah.
would understand. They can explain if I had one on the podcast. But I see them doing that as well,
Yeah.
and it's always like just confusing because I don't really know internally.
I don't think it's ever gotten to me as far as my self-esteem. It's just gotten to me as far as like opportunities or like dating experiences, because where I'm from, I'll see a lot of guys who are like, oh no, I only date light-skinned girls or racially ambiguous girls, Latina
Really?
girls. Or like you'll get passed up on opportunities because they'd rather give the girl who's more light-skinned because she's more palatable to their market. So that's the only thing that it gets. Because when it's interfering with my money,
But that's
or my
still a
dating-
lot, because you see, like you've mentioned on
Yeah.
dating,
Yeah.
and also like you've said, like even career-wise,
Yeah.
they've said something to do with the palette is more marketable.
Yeah.
That also affects your money, and of course, dating when somebody's saying like
Yeah.
that kind of like messes up with you a
It
bit.
can, but that's why you have to be so strong-minded
Yeah.
to not allow those things, because you'll see someone like Lupita living her best life,
Yes.
very dark-skinned,
That's true.
beautiful and unapologetic.
That's
and
true.
look, she got her Oscar.
True.
So you belong, no matter what you look like, you belong.
True, and I think also now at times we kind of forget like that's what makes us special.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what makes us special.
because even if I color my skin like Nduta's,
Yeah.
I'm never going to really feel like that's who I am.
I mean, you
I'm
never,
gonna
you
look
never know until you try, right,
I'm gonna look
Nduta?
ridiculous.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna look
You're like,
ridiculous.
oh, I don't know about that. But also, like, even mentioning that, also, like, now being in the States, I think the way you said, like, you find people who are saying they prefer to date people who,
Yeah.
girls, women who are
And it
slightly.
will come from black men, by the way.
That's what I wanted
And
to
that's
say.
the most
But-
toxic.
No.
Are we ready to unpack?
Yeah, we can unpack, but
Yeah.
But because even like in my questions in my podcast, I talk about health, wealth, love, and happiness. Because we've
Yeah.
talked about like even just being career-wise and
Yeah.
everything. But we're also talking about like how dating and how it,
It
can
can be
influence.
challenging.
Because I think when young girls are trying to get slightly light, it's because they think,
It's for the male gaze.
yeah. And
Yeah.
let's be honest, like in Kenya, we don't have NBA players here, baseball, American football player.
Yeah.
But in the States, we're talking about a whole different ball game. Because I hear if you go to somewhere like Miami,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game
It
there.
is, yeah.
And when you have like a whole fleet of like sportsmen who are just looking for fair-skinned women,
Yeah.
that catches on as a trend. Even to the broke guys, they're like, hey, man, I can't wait till I get my money.
When I
and
get
then
money.
when I get my money, I can deal with you sisters now. But when I get my money, which is what a lot of basketball players
And football
and
players.
football
yeah.
players.
Yeah.
I think like just a lot of, and these are people who set trends, even when it comes to music. When you see
Yeah.
Travis Scott, it's with like Kylie.
Yeah.
When it's Kanye, it's there with. When you see Kobe Bryant,
It's very internalized. When it comes to the States,
anybody
it
can
starts-
mention. I can think
Yeah.
of Michael Jordan.
But it goes
I wear his
deeper.
shoes, but
Yeah, but it goes deeper because all of it
Yeah.
starts from the systemic aspect of it, which, by the way, we're not going to have a history lesson.
yeah.
But
yeah.
when you come from a place where you've already been taught to be less than, you want to come out of it and just not be associated. So there'll be very few people like LeBron, maybe, who will keep
Yeah,
his
actually
girlfriend
true.
from when they were in high school and still carry that
Actually,
along.
apart from
and it's very
LeBron,
rare.
there's nobody else.
It's
Who
very
else?
rare. It's there's a few.
Is there anyone else?
There's a few.
Who?
Well, there's a few. But
Who
I
is a
don't want to
black
say
wife?
it's very. That's what I'm saying. It's very rare. But that self-hate.
Can you imagine even just like asking about somebody else's name apart from LeBron?
Yeah.
It's so hard to say anybody else. Who.
I know. But that's where it comes from, it being systemic, because they
Yeah.
want to be very detached from where the poverty, growing up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you've grown up in the projects? Your mom was a single mom. You don't want to be associated with any of that. So
Yeah.
now you're choosing, hey, when I make it, I'm going to get me a nice white girl with blonde hair and forget where I came from. So it comes from a very
Yeah.
deep place. And luckily for us, we
Yeah.
don't have to deal with a lot of that. Like, I was even telling some of my friends, before I moved to the States, I didn't know I was black. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I knew
it doesn't
I'm
cross
African,
your
but
mind
you
that
don't know
you're
until when you get there and you're like, oh, wow.
People
I'm filling
actually
out,
remind you.
I'm filling out my work application. They're asking me, are you African American,
Oh.
Mexican, Latino, American Indian,
Yeah.
or Caucasian? And you're like, why do you want to know?
Yeah.
But they use those things for the optics to know how they're going to go about the hiring process. So those things, they really mess with your mind when you move to such spaces, because then you start to understand, wow, I'm really black.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think
Because
also,
here we're all the same, we treat each other the same way.
yeah, but that's why I'm always telling people, like, I think also, I don't know about diaspora, but I'm always
Yeah.
telling people, like, until you travel, that's when you'll start appreciating more, a little bit more different.
Yes.
Because a lot of people always like, I want to leave my country. I'm like, yes, you can.
You
But
can.
also just travel a bit and just understand what it comes with and everything. Because you'll be reminded.
Yeah.
Because there's some certain countries, I can't remember which one, but a majority of the countries where I would, like, if I see a black person, they were just somewhere behind, like, parking or they were not at the storefront when
No.
you're going to shop and stuff.
I know.
You'll see like a lot
it's
of light
funny you
skinned
said
people.
that. Can I interrupt?
Yes,
because I'll have, when I'm working at Cartier, and
Yeah.
a lot of people, black people pass there, they'll be like, I see you, sister.
Yes.
I see you, girl.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, power to the black people.
Wakanda
So-
forever. It's like, yo.
It's always so interesting. Or when you're walking through places and you
Yeah.
see a black person, you have to say hi.
Yeah.
And your other white friends or your Mexican friends are like,
Do you know
them?
him?
I'm
Like,
like,
no. No.
We have that
But
language.
it's just that of-
the language of knowing, I see you.
Yeah, I see
You
you.
know, we're here. I
Yeah.
support you. We're good. Yeah.
Because it's kind of strange, but I think like even such challenges, like when it comes to work, I don't know whether it's something that you would want to mention, because
Yeah.
I know, like I mentioned it, of course, because it's something that you made it public on your social media.
Yes.
And like for my case, like I said, I know you're such a chill person.
Super chill.
Like I've never seen you go online to rant about anything.
Yeah, because I'm also a very like.
You've never
private
complained
person.
about anything at all. But this is the first time I was like, she actually looks like she's in distress.
Yeah.
And you're calling out like some company. And, I didn't know there's another one as well. But do you want to just touch a little bit on that situation? Because I think it also reflects on other people when they're going to search for opportunities, how they can go, how the right process of going through
Yeah.
things. Because not everybody can be like Kanye West. Not everyone is worth $1 billion. Like if something goes wrong, you just
You're
go
on your own.
Instagram live and then you just call out everyone, insult everyone. But like, okay,
Just use your voice.
what
That's all I'll
exactly
say.
was this situation about?
It was just one of those situations where I was discriminated against. And it was so outright that, because typically when that happens, you can just be quick enough to just apply to another job and bounce and say,
Yeah.
you know what, I've had it. But this one was so outright
It's a
that
place you are working.
it's a place I was working.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was met with so much discrimination. I was told I was going to get
A banana?
no. No, why am I forgetting?
That's too much. I'd be like, hey.
I was told I was going to get a promotion to be the assistant manager. And then all of a sudden they started changing things out because I had had an altercation with one of the managers because I had told her something that didn't make her happy. And because all of the managers who were friends, they tended to side with her. And they even had a conversation with me. And it was all on camera, by the way, because everything is on CCTV.
Yeah.
So even one of the managers made a comment and said, oh, no, we are going to file a case and let HR know, which, by the way, they did not file that case.
Of course.
But it was just something to just tell me to make me keep quiet.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned something along the lines of, my kids are half black, so we
Yeah.
would never, ever do. And I'm like, what does that have to do with
That has nothing to
it
do
has
with,
your home life and
Yeah.
my work life. The fact
Completely
that
different.
my work life is a hostile environment
Yeah.
and you have to mention your half black children is
Yeah.
not going to help me out. So in those instances, you just have to know your rights, number one. know your rights and know.
Because I'm guessing you're the only black person
I
in
was
the
the
store.
only black person in the skincare and makeup
Oh,
department
yeah.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things where even my presence, because I always used to go out of my way to dress. Because I remember even there was another lady who asked me, "Do you ever have a bad day?" Because I would always. There was never a time I would come to work without makeup, without being
I've never
dressed
seen
up.
you dressed down by then.
Exactly,
Do
because
you?
that's my job. I'm being paid for that.
No,
that was
even I'm
being
talking
used.
even in person. I've
Yeah.
never seen you like.
And also at work, because I'm being paid for that, you're
Yeah.
coming to me for my advice and for my expertise.
Need a certain
Why
presentation.
am I coming to work with no makeup, looking tired,
Yeah.
or not smelling good, looking good? So
True.
for me, I always used to elevate how I was looking and how I was presenting myself.
Mm-hmm.
And to some people who did not look like me, they didn't seem to take that very well, because it
She's doing
almost
too
seemed
much.
like I was coming for their jobs.
But why you?
I mean, I'm here just like you, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you
And
want
we're
that
for the
promotion,
same-
right?
Yeah, we're here for the same opportunities. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no way I don't know how to half-ass anything. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it really well or not at all.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big factor, and it became more of like a bullying, discrimination. We want her out, kind of. It was kind of that. How do I explain?
Plus, this is a place you still have to go to work every single day.
Yes, the microaggressions were serious.
Oh.
So like the little
And you're getting them
comments,
from every.
and I'm getting them from every angle.
What?
Internally. My customers were not that bad.
Yeah.
Of course, I had a customer who said, "Oh, I'm not like other black people. I'm better than black people." So I was like, "Girl, what?"
Okay.
So certain comments, when they come from the customers, you can kind of let it go.
Yeah,
Because that's
'cause-
not the person you're interacting with on a daily basis. But when it's coming from your teammates,
It's
you
now-
feel like you're just being pushed out. But at
Yeah.
that point, I didn't want to be pushed out without saying how I feel.
Yeah.
So that's when I called them out on social media, and I also filed a lawsuit.
So,
And
when that check clears,
And to be honest, I wasn't just doing it for the check. Of course,
But
it was,
yeah, I
it
know,
was inconveniencing
yeah.
to also go to work, and I'm frustrated all the time.
Yeah.
When all I'm just a girl who wants to play with makeup brushes.
Yeah.
Can I just leave?
And also, that's why I'm just thinking, like, now you're already in a whole different country. When such things happen and you have to
You
deal
feel
with them,
alone.
like, for a very long duration of time where you still have to clock in. Plus, you can't be calling your mom and dad every day. It's like, Mom,
No.
was it today? No, now you have to be a grown-up and
Yeah.
actually deal with the situation, because
Yes.
you also don't want to put your parents or people, in distress.
You don't.
Yeah.
And you see, when you're an adult, you know how adulting can be.
Yep.
You have to deal with everything by yourself at a certain point.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad are not going to come and save you.
Are you going to call
They're
the company and like, yo, we did this to my... No, they
I mean,
can't.
they'll try. My
They
parents,
they can,
one thing
yeah.
about them, they'll try.
They
But-
can, but still, you wouldn't want that. As an adult, you want to be able to deal with that situation
Yes.
accordingly.
Accordingly.
As an
so
adult.
finding my voice, because I had faced quite a few instances where they were pretty bad, but with that particular company, which I can't mention right now, it was really the worst of them all.
Yeah.
The disrespect was to another level where I just couldn't ignore, because I was thinking, when I quit this job, when I leave, there's someone else who's going to be just like me, who's
Yeah.
going to go through the same situation. And if I leave here knowing I haven't said anything, their life is just going to be just as hard.
Yeah.
So I have to work hard for the next person who is not from the US, maybe is dark skinned like me, who has an accent, to have an easier time when they come in here, to give her the respect or give him the respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
So I wasn't just doing it for myself.
It's for other
Of course, I
people.
had to let it go and address it, but I was also doing it for the next person who's going to come.
True.
That way they can know you don't treat people like that just because of how they look.
And I think also people who've really pushed that envelope,
Yeah.
it's Nigerians.
Yeah.
They've really,
No,
really
Nigerians
invaded everywhere.
No, Nigerians are
Yeah.
amazing. I see them
They've pushed
in
it.
every store I go to.
Yeah.
I see them buying all the high-end things. Their work ethic also, I'll say. Yes, we
Are we
have
talking
good-
about like the normal 8 to 5 people, or are we talking about
even
the
the
other
8 to
ones?
5 people who are like, let's say, software engineers. They'll come in and buy
Yeah.
a stack of Cartier bracelets, and I'm like, wow.
Really?
Just someone will come. The other day, I had a guy who came in, and I looked him up on LinkedIn because I was curious. I was like, how will these?
How is this even possible?
The
Yeah.
whole time I've worked at Cartier, I've only seen one Kenyan.
One?
And I've seen several Nigerians coming
One?
to... But yes, one Kenyan.
Oh, come on. We need to step our game up.
And I've seen several Nigerians,
Yeah.
coming in and just like spending bags and
Splurge.
bags.
That's why, like, now you
Yeah.
see Nigerians always put so much pressure
But
on the
you know
rest
what
of
it
us
is?
because now it's like
It's not
Nigerian
pressure.
men are spoiling us.
No, it's not pressure.
Yeah.
Nigerians know their worth. And
Yeah.
they never try to change their accents, by the way.
They don't.
They never ever try to conform to whatever the white people want them to be.
Yeah.
They say what you get is what you see. And I feel like
Yeah.
we need to borrow a leaf. I really admire
Yeah.
them because we need to borrow a leaf from them. They're very authentic.
I think with
They
them,
don't try and do anything for
Nope.
to appease anyone.
they never
They
change
just
that.
do
They
them.
don't soften that accent
They
so
don't
that you can
soften
understand
it,
them. No,
nothing.
if you understand, sawa. If you don't understand,
Too bad.
Too bad.
Get someone else who can help me.
Yeah. Get somebody who
And
can
they-
understand
and I
me.
love their confidence because when they walk into a room,
You kind of feel
you
it.
have no choice but to respect
Feel
them.
it. Yeah.
You have no
that's true.
choice but to respect them and give them their flowers
When we also
by force. Whether
no,
you like
that's
it or
true.
not.
That's true. That's true. Definitely.
Yeah.
And even when we're talking about that, because like I always like to talk about like even numbers as well, because the topic of wealth comes in and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about like probably how well-paying makeup gigs,
Yeah.
and also now we'll come back to like Cartier and just talk about like a few products that people just buy every now and then.
Yeah.
So that we can see what we can add to our wish list. So,
Okay.
yeah, with that being said, let's talk about like just how well-paying is makeup business in general, just in the States or where you actually, in your environments where you work.
Yeah.
You work around.
Well-
Whether it doesn't have to be you, it could be like people that you know in person, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this person, I would want to get to this level because this is how much they can make.
Mm-hmm.
As we've said, like 50% of Americans, if they can't have like $1,000 in their account,
Yeah.
we know people who are making like way much more in the States.
Yes.
So how lucrative are we talking about? Like when
It's
it comes
very
to
lucrative. When it comes to makeup, beauty in general is $1 billion business.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't tap into that and get a little bit of the portion of the billion because people, even in a recession, people are still going to be like, I still want to look good.
Yeah.
I still want to buy makeup and I still want to spend money on my appearance. So I would say it's one of the most high earning careers because people always want
how much are we talking about? Not yours.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not talking about yours. So we're just talking about numbers in general,
yeah,
about other makeup artists.
like you want actual figures.
Yes, because we
So-
talk about numbers here. We want other girls to go in the States as well, to go
You
and
can,
pursue
as
like
a makeup artist, even just
Like,
being
let's talk
freelance.
about-
Let
yeah.
me just give you a figure.
Yeah.
Doing freelance as a makeup artist, you can rack in 100,000 a year,
what?
6 figures
What?
after tax.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So just in case you don't know what that means, for those people like, because I always ask people about numbers. We're talking
Yeah.
about $100,000. Just multiply. Let's do the actual numbers. I like numbers.
You
I like numbers. Yeah.
I don't, but
I mean, everybody loves numbers. We're not talking about yours.
okay.
Like, just to specify, taxpayers are out here. Eh?
I know, right?
So the dollar rate right now is probably at around
157.
157. That's, Kenyan shillings, 15,700,000
A year.
a year.
There you go.
So, I mean, just understand
And
what
that's
we're talking
just the
about.
minimum.
That's the minimum because it can go
It can go.
It can go much higher.
Because there's also tips.
Yeah.
You get a lot of tips because
yeah,
America
yeah.
has a huge tipping culture,
Yeah.
and that's one thing Cosette and I were talking about.
Yeah.
Because in America, when you don't tip,
People
are
get
shocked.
upset by
They're
the
like,
I think.
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you come here and not give a tip? So you have to consider that too.
Yeah.
Plus, you're getting a lot of cash. Not really necessarily swiping. You're getting cash. So it's a really good way to make money because it's just really your output.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning and you say, hey, I'm behind on rent, I want to do 6 customers today.
Yeah.
You'll be able to make your rent.
In that one day. That's crazy. Because in,
It's crazy.
in Kenya, you'll be homeless by there.
Let me be honest though.
Yeah.
Even in Kenya, you can do that.
Really?
I remember before I moved to the States, I had a situation where I lost my iPhone, and my parents were so over me. They were like, you know
losing
what?
phones all the
They were
time.
like, you know, we're not gonna keep funding this lifestyle of yours that you keep losing your phone. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna host a makeup class, and in one day, I was able to make money for my iPhone.
Really?
And my mom was like, you see.
You see, if you want to do it, stop disturbing us. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which part of the world you are. It's just the effort you're going to put and the focus. So when you say, as a makeup artist, I want to do 5 clients today or 6 clients to make my rent, to buy a car, to be able to move to another city, to buy a house, you just focus and do the numbers. Focus on the heads. You're like, how many heads is it going to take me? How much am I charging per person? Like personally, I'll put, since you like numbers, I charge anywhere between $250 to $300 per customer. And people will pay.
For makeup?
And I started at $50. So yes, but when I went to beauty school, I was like, I've paid for my beauty school. I have the qualifications. I'm going to name a figure and someone will pay.
They will pay.
Of course, it's going to be those people who are like, that's expensive. I won't do it. It's fine. I guess you're just not my demographic.
Yeah.
But someone is going to pay that $300 per face.
But I think also the best thing about maybe positioning yourself in the States, it's the industry is so... Like everybody's doing, everybody's doing.
It's very saturated.
Everybody's,
that's a fact.
No, but also like everybody's like doing content of some sort
Right.
where they need makeup, not just for if it's influencers, if you're talking about artists, if you're talking about like just even from the micro influencers, like there's always somebody who needs something done.
There's always a market.
Because even if you get to hair now, I hear that it's crazy expensive as well.
It is really expensive.
So I think anything to do with beauty, cosmetics can be like really, really expensive and also lucrative to the people providing the services.
Exactly. And to add on to that, finding your niche is really important because when you find out, okay, how many black people are in Arizona and how many black makeup artists are in Arizona?
Yeah.
Maybe there's only like 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
So when
that
you
already know.
When you put that hashtag Black MUA, AZ, all the hits are coming to you because they're like, oh wow, we don't have many of these. So,
so
that's the first. Michelle is gonna be the first person I go to.
Have you done like mini tour in the States to know exactly where you belong, or you just settled on Arizona, Phoenix, and that was it?
I do makeup all over the States because even my weddings, there's a lot of Kenyans who follow me.
Yeah.
So like if someone will DM me and say, hey, my wedding is in San Francisco. Come through and do it. They'll pay for my transport, my accommodation, and I'll do their makeup. If it's Texas, the same thing. So I would say for me, it's just a preference thing of weather.
Yeah.
So I like the West Coast because baridi.
You can just work with that.
Yeah. But I feel like for me, if I was to choose, I would like to be like in Atlanta or like Los Angeles.
Atlanta
or
is also crazy. Yeah?
It's really crazy. Right? But you know, there is where that's the new Hollywood, Black
Yeah,
Hollywood.
I've heard
coming.
like there, if
Then
you
Black
can
Hollywood.
you position yourself. I've seen Nigerians who sell wigs there.
Yeah.
And they're
making
millions of dollars.
Leave alone that 100,000 I told you.
Yes.
There's so much more. So for me, it's just a preference. I like being on the West Coast, but I've understood the fact that I'm able to travel because of social media. It has given me the avenue to be able to go from state to state and do makeup, and I'm really, really so privileged and so blessed to have that opportunity.
Yeah, but that's also like a good thing. Another question would be. Which I did not want to miss out on, and I don't want this to slip like in my head.
Okay.
Just as a makeup artist in the States, do you ever feel the need to like just encourage other girls to move to the States also and just pursue something like have other girls like asked you like in your DMs like, yo, can I come there and actually try and pursue the same thing that you're pursuing?
Yeah, I've had so many girls ask me that, and of course I'll encourage them all the time. But that also had some bells ringing in my head because I really would love to have, in the next 5 years, have my own beauty school. Yeah. That way I'm providing that licensing here, and they don't feel the need to have to get that from outside of the country. Because we have so much talent here in-house that having to go and send it out there, that most of us will never come back.
But you know the thing
But of
with
course
Kenya
I'll
now,
encourage
you know
them.
that dollar exchange rate right now.
It's
Come
true.
on,
But
come
now
on.
if there's more of us here, there won't be the need to have to leave all the time.
True.
But of course, I'll be the first one to encourage someone to take that leap of faith
Yeah.
and go and explore. But also, in that same token, bring it back to your country.
Yeah.
And elevate the people who are already here who maybe don't have that same opportunity.
Okay,
Yeah.
another question would be, and I know we are almost just coming to the. Don't worry, I know I have like crazy a lot of questions. Because if I don't ask them
I
now,
love them,
when was the
though.
last time that I'm going to see you?
I
Though
know.
you know.
I love the questions. Though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're just enjoying yourself in the podcast as well. Like
Yeah.
also like another
Plus, I
question.
have to say, you've been such a good host. Can we just talk about that?
No, we can talk about that later. Let's talk about you first of all. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. We can talk about that towards the end of the podcast,
Yeah.
right? So now, I don't know what strategies you use. Like, let's say, because yes, you're doing your makeup and everything, you're making your money. And now that you mentioned that you also had like a situation where you had to deal with finance a bit, like as a day job,
Yeah.
do you have any investment strategies, or do you just save? Do you invest? Like, what kind of like money moves do you do? Because in the States, I know if you make the perfect moves in investing in different things, or just how you put your money to multiply or
Yeah.
compound. Are there any strategies that you personally use to just make sure you're set for a slightly,
have
just
like
for those,
a rainy day fund?
yeah, rainy day fund, and also
Yes.
like just in the future, because you never know, you're investing in something so that it can grow and start. Because those opportunities are a lot in the States.
Yeah.
In Kenya, we are a bit limited with what we can invest in because we do have our traditional means.
Yeah.
But not all of them are the best, especially if you didn't get into land kitambo when our parents were there.
Yeah.
Now you see people who bought land and built, and their houses are just being run over by a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Those situations that happen. So, like, what investment kind of moves do you do, like, when you're in the States?
Okay. So I have investments in like index funds, and I have a financial advisor. So
Oh, wow.
you can definitely find that you will make a lot of money like long term.
Yeah.
So if you keep like, or even IRA, like retirement accounts or
Roth
Roth
IRA.
IRAs, all of those are really good because you know your money is not being taxed and you're also making money over a period of time. Another thing is your
Yeah, guys, I
personal-
like this conversation now.
is your personal credit.
Yeah.
And if you have a business or an LLC, you can also really benefit from business credit. So the good thing about the US is that when you have good credit, the bank just wants to give you money. Unprovoked, you're just
So you
like,
have an idea for something, you just...
when you open up your LLC, you can definitely build up. When your personal credit is good, like your credit score, you've worked on it, you don't owe a lot of money, or you're paying off your credit cards,
Yeah.
you notice that your credit score
Credit
is
score,
going up.
yeah.
So when your personal credit score is going up, you're also growing your business credit score. And with that, the banks are very, very quick to give you more money because they're seeing you're not only using the money, you're also paying it off. So
Okay.
they're more willing to give you money to invest in further
Yeah.
amounts of money in your business. So, for example, let's talk about personal credit
Yeah.
on its own. Once you have, like, let's say anywhere
And
between
don't worry,
700.
I won't ask your personal credit. So
Good, because I won't tell
credit
you.
score. Nduta, what's your credit score? No, you don't have to say it. Yeah.
So if
Okay,
you
yeah,
have anywhere
personal
between
credit.
700, 800, you're in a good space because you're constantly being given a good amount of money to invest and buy things like maybe a house, an apartment, like a structured building that you can be renting out. You live in one building and then you rent out the rest.
Yeah.
Then you're getting a constant income. That's one way. For business credit, they'll give you lump sum. They'll give you 250,000 and tell us what you're going to use it with. And
What?
sometimes you can even be told you don't have to pay it all off. So you're paying off maybe a certain amount and then the rest is for keeps. And you see that's
Wait,
revolving.
really?
Yeah, and they have forgiveness. They have loan forgiveness.
Wait,
You just have to apply.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you have to just look
I
at
don't think we have that in Kenya. We don't have that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you just have to look at those avenues, like the Roth IRAs, like I talked about, the business credit and your personal credit.
Yeah.
That's for me what has really come through for those days where I'm like, you know what, this paycheck to paycheck business is not working, or I need a mental health break. So I want to take like a nice 2 weeks to think about what I want to do. I don't have to worry about not making rent.
True.
Yeah.
And then now is your plan to like just settle there permanently, or you're trying to make your money and then come back to Kenya? Like what's your
I
what's your plan?
love being at home. I won't lie. I won't lie. But now, for the longest time, I always wanted to come back home, but things have changed because I met someone.
Hey, okay.
And now
Hey.
it's different.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
different.
So before you met someone, like you were thinking about
I was
coming
all
back
in.
home.
But now I'm just thinking maybe 6 months in, 6 months out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how's that though? Like even just like now you're chasing a career, you've met someone in a different country.
Yeah.
And now you've made like even like now the decisions that you're trying to make are permanently
Yeah.
like settling there. Like how is that though? Because that means like, you know, if this is somebody you love long term, you'll be thinking of starting a family with them. Yeah. Have you thought about starting a family?
Of course, it's in my plan, but right now, I mean, I'm in a relationship and it's pretty new, so we haven't gotten there yet. But that's my desire. I mean, I'm 30 now, so I feel like that's like the next
because
thing
I saw you posting like on Instagram, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know, most women don't want to talk. Because I wanted to bring it up and ask, like, okay, now that you've posted, like, you know, you posted the caption said, "Speak to me 30."
What did I say? I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
that was the caption. You don't even remember your caption?
I said talk.
Talk to me 30,
No, talk
right?
30 to me or something.
Talk 30 to
something
me.
like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. You said...
But, yeah, my desire
Talk
obviously
30
would
to me.
be to start a family.
Yeah.
But right now I'm really just focused on getting to know the person that I've met. And it's very serious because I'd never ever talk about my relationships.
At all.
But this one is different and I have a good feeling about it.
How do you know when you meet someone special? Because, I mean, honestly speaking, at times I meet people, and then after 2 weeks, I'm like, Jesus. It's like this is just the devil assigned this person to come and disrupt and just to mess up my whole life and everything.
Yeah, the streets are a little rough.
Yeah.
So it takes a minute. I've kissed a couple frogs to get here, but I think what was different about this particular relationship that I'm in is I was very intentional, and I went in there knowing exactly who I am and what I wanted, and that just gave me a different element because before I was dating, but I didn't know what I wanted. And I didn't even know who I was or what I was looking for. So with this relationship, I had a good upper hand because I went into it stating exactly what I wanted and not budging. Because before, you know, you'll have your things that you can't, like your non-negotiables, but you'll be so quick to be like, I'll ignore it. But this time I was very, very strict. And I said, this is what I want. If you're not able to, kindly let me know. We move on. Nothing personal.
Because I think also like with a lot of people nowadays, you can notice I'm not saying it's a trend, but the way our parents used to meet at an early age, get married at an early age, have kids at an early age. With us, you'll notice like a lot of people are really taking their time because cultures have changed, the way people are working, a lot of different things.
And there's so many dynamics you have to look at. You have to ask about what the expectations are of you financially. Like even as a woman, you have to be that person asking, what do you expect? Like, how do you want us to split things? What does your
you split
family...
the bills? I want to know your opinion on this because like even the budgeting coach, we were having this conversation and I was talking about like how like now one of the biggest things that hinder relationships, it's actually finances.
It is finances.
It's actually finances.
It's
not even anything else because if you have a guy, and we're not saying this is what's going to happen. And even we're joking around about this discussion.
Yeah.
And she was saying like, you know, even think about it. Like there's some things that can be forgivable. Let's say you've already set up a family and this person cheats, right? Of course, that's a bad thing.
It is.
But if they're providing everything financially, you can kind of like...
Turn the other
cheek a bit. You can kind of like consider like, you know.
That one is very personal to each person.
Yeah. But I'm just saying like, but imagine now if somebody cheats and you're splitting that bill 50-50. Don't tell me you're staying there to listen to anything. you're gone. There's no way you're staying. Come
Yeah.
on. Let's just be honest. But like, okay, like even just going in a relationship in general, I just want to know like your perspective, because that's what I'm saying. Like even, I can't remember the last time somebody bought me shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know,
And I know a lot of people.
Oh.
What does that say about people that I know?
You need to get out there more.
I'm
You
even
need to,
telling people.
you deserve to be spoiled too.
Yeah, like just even bring me like even salt shakers, man. Sometimes just, it's like, I've seen you doing this with Salt Bay all the time. Let me just get you some nice salt shakers and everything.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to my brother and my boyfriend the other day, and they told me guys are really not that complicated. Excuse me.
At all.
They just want you to think about
the thought.
It's just the thought. If you say whenever you put your cup down, he doesn't have coasters, and you say, "Hey, babe, I thought about you and I got you a coaster." Just keep quiet and just
simple things.
The simple things.
Yeah.
Because my brother just said, just want you to not nag us.
Yeah.
And just tell us, give us what we need. It's very bare minimum.
That's true.
You know, for us, we're saying, I want a house.
I
want
a lot
closet,
of things, yeah.
I want 5 acres.
Kids, where the kids are going to school.
But for guys, they're like, I just want peace.
Peace.
Give the guy the peace. That's all he wants.
Some of the littlest things that would actually make just somebody just overjoyed for no reason at all.
Yes, it's the
for me, it can even be like a phone case. I'll be like, you got me a phone case. I'm like, what?
Or like a lens cover, something to protect your lenses.
Imagine.
Something when you're walking around, you'll be comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just saying it would be like some of the simplest things, but just the thought of somebody doing. Because in general, I think now, especially now, I don't know about other places, or maybe it's just a personal thing. I really don't get gifts at all.
We need to change that. You need to vocalize what your needs are.
I mean, but I can't just be out there. It's like, yo, guys, I need... No. But when it comes to giving, I give a lot.
Yeah.
The type of person,
and it's
even if
the
it's
people
just a
who
friend...
give a lot who don't get.
They don't get at all.
So I think because I'm the same way, I had to unlearn refusing help. So you know how... Like you said, we're very giving people. Yeah. So you're always expecting to give.
Yeah.
But at some point, you also have to lean on your friends and the people that you know and say, you know what, listen, I'm in a tight spot. I need this.
True.
And because you never ask, you'll be so quick. You'll see how quickly they will be. So you also have to communicate that. Yeah. And that's one thing I had to learn, is that I have to ask for help, even from my friends. Because before I used to always like shut down and not communicate. And my friends are like, damn, you're under, like, we haven't heard from you for months. I'm like, just going through some things, working them out. I'll be back when I'm better. They're like, Kwani, we're just statues in your life.
No, we're your friends.
We're
like,
your friends.
Up,
how
tell
can
us.
we help?
Yeah.
We'll rally up and you're like, oh, wow. It clicks. Even you have to ask for the things that you want.
And I think you also appreciate your people a little bit more, because like now it's a community thing.
Yeah, and everything that's two-way just feels so nice.
Yeah,
like
if it's one way, honestly,
You know, ma?
It feels bad by the way. At some point, I'm like, okay, so why do I even do this in the first place? But now I want to know, like, just on your thoughts, just dating in general. I'm not talking about you.
Yes.
Like when it comes to like just expenses. Do you prefer the 50-50 split, or do you prefer a guy who's like a little bit more?
I don't think there's any girl who prefers.
I mean, 50-50. I'm asking. There's some would be like, yo, you know what, me, I'm okay with splitting, like the way Gabriel Union was saying, like, she's okay with just paying half of the nini.
Oh, I don't know I can't relate to that. So I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
I was very clear about what I wanted and needed in my relationship. Yeah. And that's one thing that I feel like I used to be so quick to be shy about. So like if I wanted someone who was going to be a provider, and then for me, I'm not saying I don't want to work. I definitely
No, you're doing your thing, and you can still take care of a lot of other things.
But I don't want to think about paying the rent or having to split all these items because that'll take away from my creative mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, if you're splitting rent with someone,
it's like,
that's
let me
wild.
just be solo then.
I don't think that girl will look at you with the same love.
But you know what? There's
admiration.
also a different dynamic where you can be in a relationship and someone was taking care of you and you already had that understanding. But then now you get a big break and you start making more money.
Oh, no, true.
So the dynamic has to change.
Yeah.
All of it is about flexibility.
That's true.
So I'm not going to say, I don't prefer to go 50-50. I'm just saying when you're with a partner, you have to understand giving is just as good as receiving.
True.
So you have to adjust. So because right now I told my boyfriend, listen, I need someone who's going to be able to take care of the daily expenses in the house,
Yeah.
but then I want to focus on my arts and crafts and like bettering myself, doesn't mean that once I've gotten to that level, I'm
That
not
I
going to be
won't-
like, you know
yeah.
what, babe, let me get the mortgage this time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm open, and I feel like that's what most of us should practice.
Yeah.
That you just can't be like, oh no, I'm not splitting anything with a man, I'm not doing this. You just have to be open-minded to know that it's a partnership at the end of the day.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
this is a life partner
It's
that
a
you're
life
choosing.
partner.
And it's about
anything can
teamwork.
happen.
Yeah.
Today, he'll be alive and well, spoiling you, doing all those things. He could get, God forbid, hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then now you have to figure
You
out how
have
you
to
have...
take care.
Anything can happen. So the
if you
partnership
picked if
aspect,
you picked your partner based on just other things apart from like
it's
genuine
all about
love,
character.
yeah,
The
it's-
character is what is there. You have to know how this person reacts when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're annoyed. How do they react? Are they like being abusive to you, or are they being calm but still stern? Because
Yeah.
you'll always know someone's true colors when they're upset.
When they're upset, you'll start seeing things and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
What's happening?
What kind of person is this? What did I
Yeah.
sign up for? So I
And
think
also integrity is such a big thing, because when you see how someone is treating people outside of
Yeah.
you, then you're more comforted to know, wow, he's not just treating me here because
Other people
of
as
how I
well.
look or what I'm giving him. He also treats other people with the same regard. Yeah. He or she, by the way. I keep saying he.
wait, it's not a girlfriend that you have, do
No,
you?
I have a boyfriend.
You have a boyfriend,
yes.
right? Hey, it could be like it could be like a girlfriend that you're referring to, and then
But I'm talking to everyone in general.
But yeah, in general,
Yeah.
like, you know, because situations are different nowadays and
Yeah.
everything. Also now, like, as we just wind up, because I know I've really pushed the episode.
Yeah.
I've tried to get as much as I can, guys, because I know, like, by the time I see her again, it will probably be,
Hopefully next year.
you're not coming back next year.
Why
No,
not?
no,
What if I
stop
want to
lying.
bring my boo? I want to bring my boo to Kenya
You already said the main reason we're back in Kenya it's because of
to visit, not to live.
not to
I've always-
visit. There was
Remind me.
the vows being.
Oh, my parents renewing their vows.
Yes. So that's something you cannot miss. But, you know,
Yeah.
there's that one, even in a relationship, you can plan it, but it gets to December and then you're like, you know, everything gets
No,
caught
but
up.
the thing about him, he has to know
But
where
bring
I come
him,
from.
bring him
Yeah.
so that,
and I think he'd love to know where I come from. So I'd love to bring him here.
of course, he loved the food, of course.
He loved the food.
He will understand,
He
like
already
now.
likes the food I cook for him, the Kenyan food I make him.
Do you make meals for him every day?
Yeah, not every day.
Okay, hey, listen, well, like not every day. No.
Not
But I'm
every
just
day.
asking.
Because
But
I work too, he works.
okay,
So once in a while.
once in a while, once a week, twice a week.
He loves sukuma.
Yeah.
That man loves sukuma.
How you can get skooma there?
Yeah.
Really?
Of course, you have to look, but it's not as
But
fresh.
that's why I'm asking.
he
So,
loves
like in
sukuma.
relationship dynamics, of course, everybody's going through something,
Yeah.
and working and everything. How often would you cook?
As whenever I can, and that's a dynamic I like about my
So he can
relationship.
prep meals as
He
well.
can prep, and also he's the type of person who, if he, like, let's say he comes home and then he sees that the
Early,
laundry is
yeah.
not done and I'm busy, he's not gonna be like, hey, why didn't you do the laundry? He'll just start the laundry.
Yeah.
Because he knows, even him, he had a long day, I had a long day.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what I like about our dynamic, is that he doesn't always expect me to be like cooking and
That's
cleaning and
good.
doing all that stuff.
That's good,
He knows
yeah.
we're both capable, and if I can do it, I'll do it.
And I
If
think
can't,
that's
he won't.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you have people need to understand what having a partner
A
means,
partner is
because you got each other. That's why I'm always
Yeah.
saying, like, if you know you're contributing in a certain way and the person is not reciprocating that energy,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be about money directly
Not
or doing those
necessarily.
responsibilities, but you just know exactly what I'm talking about. If that person doesn't
whatever
have your
their
back,
strengths are.
Yes,
and whatever
exactly.
your
I'm good
weaknesses
at
are,
this.
You are helping each other back. Yeah.
so that
back
way
and
I
forth.
focus on what I'm good on, you focus on what and everyone is happy.
Like me, I'm just so focused on making sure he's comfortable.
Yeah.
So that now he can also take care of me. You know?
Yes.
Peace. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
I get my closet. I get
Well
my makeup.
said, well said, well said.
Yes.
Okay, so now as we just finish up, what I'm always asking people in the podcast, like, what's the one thing that you think you're in pursuit of, like right now? And if you like got it, it would give your life fulfillment, happiness, or a different meaning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
Like, what's the one thing that you're pursuing currently right now? Not even pursuing, but what's the one thing that you think can give you happiness if you got it today, or like better fulfillment?
Wow. Is it bad for me to say that I feel like I have it?
You already have it.
I
Your
have
boyfriend?
I have my family.
Okay.
and I have my career. I've never ever felt like I need to compromise money for my career, especially the last few years.
That's
the
good.
money has come with my
Especially
career.
like in those countries,
Yeah.
the pressure is crazy.
It's so crazy. And then now I have a new love interest, so which I feel like is very serious. I've never met someone that I've actually wanted to take things to the next level in terms of I see this person as being my husband or the
you
father
can
of
already
my kid.
envision it?
Yeah, or the
That's
father of my
nice.
kids. So I feel like I'm in a really good space where I'm like, of course, throw in like a little $1 million.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have my family, I have good health, I have my career that I'm really enjoying exploring and like pivoting from makeup to jewelry and just like growing in so many different ways that I wasn't really able. So maybe the only thing I would ask for is just like a little $1 million.
That breakthrough,
That
right?
$1 million.
That we are all, like, of course, just
Yes.
trying to pursue and everything. And I think
And I
that's
feel
also...
like once you, even before you have that, because the money is not really going to define you.
No.
Once you already have that happiness, the money when it comes, you're not always chasing
we
for the
just
next.
talked about
Yeah.
that like on the podcast, like
Yeah.
with the previous guest. And
Yeah.
we're also just talking about like, have you ever thought about how at times we're always saying like, I want to be able to buy this item.
Yes.
I want to buy this. And then once you get that item,
Yeah. It's always.
does it have the same like excitement that...
It doesn't, because you're always chasing something.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Even the
that-
chase is even better than getting the
Imagine.
thing. Because
Imagine
you
that.
want, and then you get it, you're like, okay, now what
Now
next?
what's next?
What
So
next?
that's one thing I was very intentional about this year is not always looking for something to complete me.
Yeah.
I want to be complete now. That way, whenever I've gotten what I want, I'm still just as content and I'm just as happy and complete. Nothing is going to complete me. Not my boyfriend, not my family, not
True.
the money. It's me.
It has to be,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think, like you said, like extra money comes on top of
We'll-
that.
we'll take it.
You'll be good.
We'll take it.
Nduta, are you married?
No,
No?
no, I'm not.
Why not?
I'm too young. I have a lot of life to live.
What's too young? How old do you plan? After how old do you plan on getting married? What's the ideal age for you to get married?
I just finished school. I'm 23.
I mean, you can join the army. You can take a loan. You
Not
can
to
go
the
to the.
army.
You can do all those things.
Not my delicate girl joining the army.
Okay, no,
I don't
I'm
want to
s-
join it.
First of all, this girl
Yeah.
is only 23. Not only
Yeah.
does she have her
That's
undergrad, she
that's
has
a-
her master's, and she's
Already?
working. Yeah.
That's why you need to get married immediately. Chap. You already
That's
have
not
all
the
those things
solution.
done and everything. Listen, think about it. You get your first kid now in the next few years,
Yeah.
like your baby number 4 or
Not
5.
a
You
kid.
skipped the ring.
Oh yeah, no. You get. That's why I said married. I said married first before the kids. Remember
Can she
that.
just enjoy life?
But you can.
Or build my career a little bit, something.
As a married woman, yes.
Why
Right.
do you want to get her to get married so young?
Listen, no. I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just saying because I've had like that debate on the podcast where I ask people how our parents ideally got young.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like I think that was not a very bad thing.
Yeah.
For us, we're choosing to get married a little bit older.
Yeah.
So like for somebody who's young, our advice is like, don't wait for too long. For me,
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s. I'd be like, yo, don't wait for too long. You're 23. At least try get married by the end of the year.
Aye.
So that,
December 20th.
like, hold on. So that by the next year when
End
you're
of the year,
coming.
it's December 20th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no. Okay,
10
not the end of
Anyway,
this year.
We're
Not the
looking
end.
for suitors. Just
No.
kidding.
The end of 2024, let's put it that way. And then now you can come back with hubby for safari.
Not hubby.
And-
But why can't she find a hubby here though?
You can. Do you like Kenyan men?
I do not discriminate.
Period.
Hey, listen, you can't just say, I don't, you have to have a type though. In the States and Kenya, like so far, you've been here for a few days.
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
No comment.
You haven't seen anything you like?
No, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Well,
guys,
here.
listen, you have to slide in that DM. Make sure you slide in that
Oh my
DM.
God.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming through to the
Thank
podcast.
you.
Really appreciate it. I know, this was last minute, but you still made time.
I did.
And
And
I
shout
think
out to my dad. It's his birthday.
it's his birthday. I mean, I that's why I was saying, like, you can't just miss, like, the cake cutting just because you're coming to the
I know.
podcast.
Yeah, I had to
I-
have both.
I can only imagine how it feels like to have a whole grown daughter, to be able to see them, like, just doing those career moves.
Yeah.
And here they are, like, just being able to relive those moments with you. So I think, that's special. Being parent is special. So
It is.
get babies soon.
And I think you're
get
next
babies
because
soon.
you're the way you're manifesting it. You're next.
No, I mean, I'm just I'm thinking about it, but like Kenyan.
I think you're ready.
The Kenyan streets are bad. Oh,
I think there's someone there for you.
in Kenya,
Guys, you've had it right here.
in our streets.
He loves to be gifted. That's all he wants. And peace of mind.
I've told you, like, nobody has brought me anything.
Yeah.
Like, even when we come with shoes now, I'm like, it's just confusing. I'm like, yo, what's going on? What kind of people do I have around me? You know what? Because I remember
But I told you have to ask for these things.
No, I know, but I remember there's a time we're having an argument with someone. I was like, yo, first of all, you've never even walked in this house with anything at all. Not even salt.
Like a nice milk.
You know, I like bananas and watermelon.
Yeah.
Not even a watermelon.
Wow. We have to do better, guys.
We have to do better, though.
Yeah. Let's be better
But
friends.
that's story for
better
another
partners.
day. Let's hope, we never know what the future stands for, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking good care of me.
We still have to do.
My kuzo.
Oh, you guys want spicy sausages before you bounce?
You think we'll ever say no to spicy sausages?
No, yes.
Yes.
That's a yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yes.
now tell the people where they can find you, if you have anything else going on, like on your platforms, anything that you want to plug on the podcast, of course,
Yeah,
Please feel free.
For now, it's my Instagram, Miss/Makeup. That's where you can find me.
Mm-hmm.
And also my Facebook page, Miss/Makeup. So I post a lot of makeup tutorials, skincare advice, and just generally me being me if you want to get to know me better.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a YouTube?
I don't, but
How
incoming.
comes?
We'll talk about that. But it's
Okay. TikTok?
It's my desire. And also TikTok.
You don't have a
Miss/Makeup.
TikTok?
I have one.
Oh, okay.
It's also Miss/Makeup.
No, okay.
Yeah, I have a YouTube, but it's currently under construction.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I think content nowadays can just change a lot of things.
It can.
So-
I told you, Michelle.
Yes.
She found me on Instagram.
Exactly.
So imagine if I just posted a little more, maybe Beyonce angenipigia.
You'd never, but that's the thing, because even for me, social media has done so many different things for me.
So many opportunities.
And you can't take these platforms for granted because
can't.
everybody has a phone. Like they're always going there to just dig information, get
and it just
entertained.
takes that one viral, and then now next thing you're meeting the president.
And it can change
You're
everything.
meeting Rihanna. You're meeting Mr. Telewa.
Yeah. You just never know. You just never
know.
But otherwise, thanks for just coming through. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having us.
The Kisscapades podcast is your gateway to holistic growth and personal transformation. Together, we'll unlock the secrets to living a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. So make sure to tune in every week and join us as we explore the essence of what it means to truly thrive. And lastly, show us some love and support in our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically all the social media platforms that support podcasting will definitely be there. Even with the short clips and reels, you can find us there. And lastly, don't be shy with feedback, suggestions, or any questions that you might have in regards to the episodes or our podcast. It's the Kisscapades podcast. Goodbye.